Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. On the Bitcoin chart, we are still tracking a potential leading diagonal here to the upside. We're going to talk about that in this video. This is the bullish wave count, and we talk about which levels need to hold to make that possible and likely. Then we also talk about the bearish wave count, which is the green A, B, C structure, which could send us down, first of all, to 24K, but likely lower, okay, if the green wave count plays out. Now, it's quite simple, even though the structure is quite complex, but it still is quite simple in terms of we have one key pivot point that decides between the blue wave count is likely and the blue wave count is less likely. And that's 26,440. It's a 61.8 Fibonacci retracement. This level is a warning level. So if that level breaks, we have a warning, and I will start to lean towards the green wave count below that level. Because the wave 4 in a diagonal shouldn't really break below the 61.8 retracement, okay? However, it's not invalidated until price really breaks below the B wave low, which I have. Again, there are different ways of counting this. B wave could be here or here in a triangle. So maybe we keep it safe and say this is actually the B wave low. So it will be invalidated, this fourth wave, and with that the blue wave count, if price breaks below 25,750. So we basically have two levels to watch. One is just a warning level, and one is really the invalidation point. So it's therefore quite simple, right? So as long as we stay above support, I lean towards the blue wave count. Below that level, I lean towards the green wave count. From an analysis point of view, we can really only confirm that a lasting low has been put in place as long as price gives us the 5 waves up, and we're going to talk about that now. So in the blue wave count, in the bullish wave count, the price needs to give us 5 waves. So better or good would be to give us one more high. Then we could make the case possibly for a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5. It would be better though, and I looked at the microstructures today, to get 2 more waves up. So let's talk about why. Because when we talk about a leading diagonal, we talk about a 5-wave move. Each of the subwaves are A, B, C structures. And if we look at the third wave here, honestly, looking at the proportions, it is not unlikely it actually needs another high to complete a healthy third wave. In an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave is still in the making. And in the C wave, we have a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, 4, 5. So this would be ideal. Therefore, I said in the beginning, 1 more high or 2 more highs. I just want to prepare you that we might get 2 more highs. But either way, we can say very simply, we focus on higher against 26,440. And let's identify where the next key resistance levels are. So actually you see it quite clearly on the chart that this is the point of control up there around 29,200. I can zoom out a bit, but you see this is significant resistance up there. It actually starts at around $29,000. So if we really get all 5 waves filled in, I think it's likely to get to that range, to that level. I had a comment in the previous video about this diagonal, saying this is not a valid diagonal because the wave 3 needs to be shorter than wave 1 and wave 5 needs to be shorter than 3. That's of course not correct. You can get expanding diagonals, which look a little bit like that. Yeah. And you can get contracting diagonals, which look a little bit like, they don't apply here, but you know, they basically something like that. Basically ascending wedges. You can get ascending broadening wedges and just sort of normal contracting wedges. So in an expanding wedge or an expanding diagonal, you basically typically would expect the third wave to be longer than the first and the fifth wave to be longer than the third. The real rule is, however, that wave 3 must not be the shortest. Everything else is guidelines. And don't, don't put too much textbook into this, right? I mean, there are clear rules, but a lot of Elliott Wave is experience and interpretation. And if you always try to look for the perfect textbook patterns, you will mess it up. So reality is in the real messiness of the markets, you just often don't find the perfect textbook patterns. It is just what it is, okay? So, for example, if you see a diagonal like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and wave 1 and 5 have around about the same length, wave 3 is the longest, but each of them are 3-wave structures, you have to count it as a diagonal. You wouldn't say this is not a diagonal, it has to be something else. If it's a 5-wave move, you have to count it as a diagonal, even though wave 1 and 5 have nearly the same length and the wave 3 is the longest. So yeah, it's too much focus on textbooks isn't so much helpful in the reality of the markets. Yeah, we don't want to break any rules, but we need to understand when perfect textbook patterns don't apply. It's very important, even though of course we don't want to break any rules. Another thing to consider is that when the Elliott Wave Principle book, for example, was written, crypto wasn't around. Okay, markets are changing, so it's always important to be focused on the markets and to understand when the markets are slightly changing as well. But yeah, there isn't much more to talk about. I mean, we talked about key resistance, key support, yeah, and what my leaning is at the moment. But I'm just saying I'm focusing on higher, but again, we let the market decide at the moment. We don't really have a clear preference right now. I can just tell you that I would not be surprised if this still breaks down because we haven't got 5 waves up. So any bearishness here shouldn't be any surprise, because as long as we don't have 5 waves up, we are sort of not we don't really have a leaning to the upside. Yeah, we're not really leaning to the upside. We just focused on the blue wave count as long as we are above support, but we basically give it a chance. But it's not like, there is not really a clear trade setup in my opinion. The next reliable trade setup will be this wave 2. So we're tracking the waves until we see the setup evolve. Okay, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.